We're going to make a simple lead generation chatbot with absolutely no code whatsoever. We're in Voiceflow. I'll click on New Assistant. Lead gen, no code, chatbot, chat, English, continue, create assistant. I just zoom out with my mouse and Control A and then delete on my keyboard, gets rid of everything. The idea is we are going to give the lead ads when they're talking to us. There's going to be a counter, so each time we send a message, an ad will be triggered, and it'll either be a PDF, a Calendly link, or lead capture type stuff. So at the beginning, what we need to do is we need to set a variable and some sort of counter. So you can find that in the logic. We're going to go set. Let's just say m message counter, select variable, create new variable, and I'm just going to call it m counter for short for message counter. Create variable, and we'll start off with 0. Click off it. What we'll do is we'll join these two up together. Next up, let's add in our knowledge base, which will show you what it is in a second. So you press 2 on that box here on the left hand side, go knowledge, add data source, upload file. We are going to upload a docx, XYZ Dojo knowledge base, import. While we're here, we also want to add some kind of instruction to our chatbot. And just say you are a helpful assistant. You answer concisely. And you work for XYZ Dojo. So like an MMA gym. And what else? And keep the conversation line. And then click save. We don't have much info, so he's going to change the chunk limit to 2. I'll show you what's actually in the knowledge base. There's some history and definitions of the XYZ Dojo. There's some info about the instructions. This is all made up. I just made ChatGPT write it. A mission statement, so what they do. I just put in a random video in there from the internet. Cost of classes, the address, Shed 5, 18 Stargate Street on planet Earth, and then phone for first instructor, second instructor, and then the schedule. I'm actually curious whether it'll pick up on the schedule at all. All right, so that's our knowledge base done. Press 1 or go here, and let's set up a welcome message to XYZ Dojo. And let's have a say, how can we help? How can we help kick butt? And then, so what I did is I like hovered over this little circle until I got the black cross on my mouse, and then hold and then let go. And then I get talk, and then we want to go listen, capture. And we'll call this our main capture block. Let's give it a color. And then what we want to do is have a response from our AI. So I'm going to click response AI. And in this particular case, we are going to choose the knowledge base. So we'll only query the document that we have set up. The question that we'll put in, or the user question, is last utterance. And the last utterance is basically what the person said last, what the user said last. And instructions are going to be use VF memory, Voiceflow memory, to help with answering the user's question. So you can do not found path here, and it will prevent it from saying anything else or hallucinating. That's I'll make stuff up that's not there. You can turn this on and off, up to you. And this VF memory, what is that? It is a variable that is a thing like in every single Voiceflow project. You'll have it there, and it collects the response from the AI and the user's questions or comments, and puts them all into like one string, and then the AI can keep track of the conversation that way. I'm actually going to turn off the not found path for now. Let's keep it a bit less simpler. So what's going to happen is it'll flow around, but before we want it to loop around, we want it to have a counter. So as I said, we're not doing any code here, but what we'll do is use a set variable, drop it into that block. And what we'll do is we'll call this one +1 counter. And we will apply this to, so I press M on my keyboard and that comes up. And what we want to do is add 1 to this counter when, like this, when we hit this new block 4, which actually I'm going to call main response block. Make it green. Alright. So each time we're going to go through this loop, it'll add 1 onto our counter and it'll apply it to it. Remember, we originally started off with 0. And then what we need is in our logic, there's a condition. And what condition is, you can set up different variables in here. And if this thing happens, then do Y, and if another thing happens, then do Z. So in this particular case, what we wanted to do is if the counter reaches 3, so 3 messages sent, so if variable, which we're going to select our M counter, so message counter, is 3, what we wanted to do is do other stuff. And if it doesn't, so else. And what I did there, I'll go back and redo that. I didn't even have it. So else, so what's going to happen is it'll keep on adding 1, and if it's not equal to 3, it'll keep on looping. And once it hits 3, what we want it to do is we want it to trigger an add. So let's just actually test this. Add triggered. To run our thing. We might actually need to train our assistant because we added a couple of variables. Cool, let's restart. Just pressing R on my keyboard to start to run it. Welcome to XYZ Dojo. How can we help kick butt? And then I'm just going to say hi. Pricing. Any classes on Wednesday? Curious what it'll actually pick up on the class schedule. Oh, cool. Yeah, so notice we did 3 messages, 1, 2, 3, and then we went to the add triggered. Cool, so everything works. So let's now actually set up a bit more complex setup. So what we'll have is in the logic, a random, and it looks like a little dice. And this is cool because without any sort of JavaScript or anything like that, we can add, I'm going to have 3 paths, and it randomly chooses a path when it reaches this block. So add block. So I'm going to call it random add block. And what it'll do is it choose add 1. Let's call this add 1, add 2, add 3. And when you can actually turn this on, and it says when on, this step will ignore paths that have been activated in a given session. So you won't, so if it goes and picks add 1 the first time, when the user does another 3 messages, it won't pick add 1 again. It'll go to add 2 or 3. And I think once it reaches all 3 again, it just resets and goes back to 0 and then starts from fresh again. Okay, so in our first add, what we want is a Calendly booking. So what we can have here is a thing called a card. And I'm going to drop an image. I think I have it there of Calendly. So maybe a sales call, a consultation call, call, and then in the buttons, you click on that. Say book here, and our action will be to press the plus button, open URL, and the URL that's going to open is your Calendly URL. Paste that in there. So once that's there, that will then open up a URL. But probably what I like doing is also have a no thanks button. So it gives the user some options there. And then we could potentially have so if they, let's assume they book, we'll just say, thanks for booking. What else can we help you? And then here, if they say no, we'll say no probs. Let me know what we can help with. And I think we'll send these to what we actually need to do then. So what's going to happen is the message block right now, so the message counter is equal to 3 right now. And when it gets to here, we need to reset it back to 0. So what I'll do then is set up a logic set, and we'll call this one reset. Let's make it like yellowy. Can I have an all yellow color? So like a shitty yellow. And then call this reset. I'll apply this to the variable and counter. And what we'll do is we'll send this to we'll send it back to the main capture block. And then these, we want it to go to the reset block. So how I'm doing this is I'm opening up the actions, go to block, select block, and you can hover over this and it comes up with them. But if you just type in the first 3 letters or 2 letters of the thing, like the block that we named comes up, go reset. And that should then reset back to 0. All right, so let's now actually set up our lead capture. So we want the name and email, and then what we'll do is we'll send it off using make to Excel sheet that I've already made here. And we'll make a new scenario in make. Okay, let's go back to Voiceflow. So I'll say, mind if we grab your help with the query. And what we can do is set up a buttons, and with the buttons what you can do is put no here, sorry, yes, and then no, and you can attach an intent. Right. So if they say yes, we'll then go, all right, what is your name and email? So what you can usually do is create an entity over here, and you can call it, for example, username, and then click name here, and it will then pick out the name from a big sentence, or even if they just said their name, it'll pick that out. But it's hard to set it up in Voiceflow when they've typed in the name and the email to actually get both of them out at once. So I prefer it to do it that way, and you can set it up so it also does the name, email, the phone number, like all in one go. So what is your name and email? And we'll capture that. And what I might actually do is call, instead of having this as the last utterance, because what we'll do in a second is put it through our LLMs to extract that info. So we'll call this lead info. And what we'll do is we'll send it over to Response AI. Actually, what we'll do is we'll use set AI. Yeah, that's better. And we'll call this our extractor. Give it a nice color of pinky red. So name and email extractor. So from, and what we'll do is I'll just type it out and I'll come back and explain it. Okay, so from lead info, extract the name. The format should be lead name, and then this is like giving it an example, and only output the value and the key. So if you did some programming before, this is the key. And what we'll do is we'll save this to a new variable, and we'll call this lead name. And we'll just repeat the same process for the next thing, which is we need the email. We could probably do it all in one go, but just for the sake of keeping things nice and step by step. Extract the email. The format should be, it's going to give it an ID, an example here at gmail.com. Call this lead email. And we'll do the same thing, we'll call it lead email. I'll change the color, I like red there. That's nice, like a teal green. Prompt settings, we'll change the Claude. I just think this is a bit better at analyzing words. All right, so what do we want to do after that? So it's extracted the name and the email. Once that's done, what we could do is just send a API request, and this is what we'll use make. Oh no, I don't want it to do it like that. I actually want it like an actual block, whatever. All right, so in our make, create new scenario. Oh, let's change the UI. Oh, this is so much neater. Custom webhook router. Well, it's all here in one go. That's so good. Custom webhook. Let's add one in. We'll call VF for Voiceflow. Don't need to press anything else there. Copy address to board. Go back to our Voiceflow. Paste in here and change this to post. Don't need anything in the headers, don't need anything in the parameters. In the body, click plus. In here, I'm gonna choose name, type in lead name, press plus again, email, lead email. And just to test that it works, what we'll do is we'll press OK and run once. Go back to Voiceflow, send a request. Let's set up in here Bob and then the@gmail.com. Should get a 200, which means it went through successfully. Great. Now it's also determined the data structure, so what actually comes through. Click on plus. If you type in Google Sheet, appends a new row to the bottom of the sheet. That sounds good. And select by path. And I already made a Google Sheet. I called it lead gen. And then there, what I've got is I've got the name and email set up in bold here already. And so that when we click on the choices of what we can put in, so the data that came through was the name, and you just like click on it, and then you click on the field, email field, and then click on email. That comes through, press OK. All right, and now when that comes through again, just to test it, we should get that answer in, or that info in our Google Sheet. see. There you go. There's Bob with his email there. Alright. Cool. That all works. See, I would have preferred it if it didn't do that. I can't be bothered. Actually, don't know how to get rid of this without deleting this whole block. So if anyone knows, that'd be great. Because yeah, probably the better way would have been to grab the API block and do it like this. So if it fails, it actually has somewhere else to go. But it's literally the same setup as before. And then we'll say thanks. Lead name. What else can we help with? And then we'll send this again off to our reset block. Oops. So let's try to drop a card again. And the picture that I'm going to put in is this. So free PDF of about our dojo, whatever that is, contains info about our dojo. Download here. And then the action is that we will go and open a URL. The URL that I'm going to get is from, I just set up a random picture in Imgur, and we'll paste that into our Voiceflow. Now that's there. I'm actually just copy this one here so I don't have to keep retyping. Thanks. What else you want to talk about? And let's also give them an option where they don't want to download. So go actions, button label, no thanks. I'm pressing just Control D by the way to duplicate. And I'm going to use the text from here. Cool, and they both go to the reset block here. All right, I think that's it. So we go. Let's run it. Let's make sure it's trained. Cool. Welcome back to pricing. Nice. Is it safe? It's a pretty good response. And then thanks for that. And that should be our three things. You're welcome. And then it pops up with this. And then it goes, I'll go, no thanks. I don't want to download it. And then we can keep going with our messages. So I'll just go yo just to see if it actually doesn't go to this, just to show you guys does it actually go to this free PDF one. And then your contact details. I'm just going through the message counter. Cool, so I went through, here are the contact details, phone. Sure, let's grab my details. Here's your name and email. Okay, so let's see if my extractor actually works. My name is Henryk. My email is h@gmail.com. Damn, it picked up on, it took out the whole thing. I'm gonna have to fix that, but let's keep going. And then the third time we go through, it shouldn't hit our second and third ad, just to show you. And this is our third message, and now it should go through Oh no, collected, it went to the same thing again. That's a problem. No. Well, the issue was with us, or with me not clicking in this. So we needed to have to turn that on for it to know that, you know, not to duplicate the path once we've already been over it. And I realized that I didn't have a thing here. So I might just send this through to this block, because it's like the same thing. It's like, no problem. Let me know what we can help with, and then it just keeps going to the reset block again. But what happened here that it didn't work? Let's have a look. Let's use something a bit stronger. Let's just start from here. Okay, my email. Yeah, that was it. Just gotta choose Claude 1. Let's turn this on so that, just press OK here, press OK, so we're all set. Press save, go out, save changes, on, delete all data, delete, and let's run this again. Okay, my email is, see whether it picks up all those things. Jumps back. Let's see if it's here. There we go, beautiful. There you go, it works. Yes, a good thing here is that I actually extracted the name and email for us. Like that. We've got a free PDF. I've got a free consult here. Thanks for booking. What else can we set it up to do? I think that's it. In about 30 minutes, we built a chatbot, a lead gen chatbot. Right, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope you learned something from it. I will leave the templates in the comments or descriptions below. Thank you, and sign in out.